I'd like to call to order the Village Board regular meeting of June 26, 2014, to order at 5:33 p.m. Clerk Simsky, we have a roll call.
Mayor Gunther.
Here.
The clerk's here. Trustee Addington.
Here.
Trustee Barker is absent tonight. Trustee Barry.
Here.
Trustee Nero, we hope will run in any second. Trustee Scott.
Here.
Trustee Seneca. Here. Manager Searle.
Here.
Attorney Zemanek.
Here.
And Assistant Manager Nick.
Here. Would everybody please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And welcome, everybody. If at this point, we'll go to open forum. I don't think we have any requests for open forum. Larry, no, we're seeing none. Pardon? Oh, yeah, the one thing I want to mention that originally tonight, we were going to have the Expression Dance Studio on the agenda. They've asked that it be pulled, and it'll be on in 2 weeks. So that will not be discussed tonight, but 2 weeks from tonight, it'll be back on the agenda. Moving on to reports, under the mayor, we were going to do the fire department awards, but we're going to wait. There was a fire alarm and we lost all the award participants, so we'll come back to that. If hopefully it was it's not a big fire, they'll be back here. I have a couple other items. I'd like to call up to the podium Jason and Shannon Hancock, who are from Urban Legend, and congratulating them on a 1-year anniversary, and they're going to tell us a little bit about their celebration.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. We're really thrilled to be in front of the board this evening. We are 1 year brewing craft beer in Westmont. A very regular question we get is, so how is it in Westmont? And we are just thrilled to be able to say that it's wonderful to be in this community. We feel we've had so much support from the board, through the police department, the fire department, and we're just feel really fortunate to be part of this community. June last year was the first day of brewing for us officially. So this coming Saturday, we are having a summer party to celebrate that success. And one of the reasons that we're here tonight is just to let everybody know we're doing that at our location on Zygmunt Circle, which is on the south side of Westmont, from 5 to 11. And of course, everybody here and anyone over 21 is welcome to attend. We've had wonderful support from residents of Westmont in the area. We hope that we've brought some craft beer people and customers into our area of Westmont, as well as into downtown to the restaurants. We've had wonderful support from the restaurants on Cass Avenue, carrying our product and helping to promote. So it's just been a really wonderful year for us here in town. And just thank you for the opportunity to come and express that to everybody out loud. And hopefully we'll be able to see some of you at our location very soon.
And what's your address?
We are at 1115 Zygmunt Circle, so pretty much 63rd and Van Industrial. We are right behind the school buses. So if you find the school buses, you're close enough to smell the beer. So please come and join us.
Very good.
Saturday, particularly from 5 to 11, but our tasting room is open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And all the information is on our website, Facebook, and Twitter.
Jason, you could talk to.
Okay. Shannon is the VP of Operations for our company, and I'm the president. We have Andrew Matz, our treasurer. We have a lot of local residents here that are part of Urban Legend, which is really exciting and nice. I just want to mention that we are expanding Urban Legend soon. We just signed a lease with Zygmunt to the property right next to us, and we're going to increase our production hopefully about 4 or 5 times. Our demands there, we have a distributor that will take whatever we want, and it's pretty exciting for us, and hopefully it will be exciting and beneficial for the community. So I just want to say thank you for all your support.
Very good.
Thanks.
Thank
Again,
you. Thanks for being
congratulations
in
on 1
Westmont.
year. Yes,
Yeah.
Thank you.
thank you.
Mayor mentioned too, they do get involved in the community. They were They were a big part of the red wine barbecue this year, and we really appreciate you guys coming and working with us on that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We are also doing some fundraising at our event on Saturday to benefit People's Resource Center as well as the boosters at the high school. We also participated with the Park District when they did their chalk drawings at the Park District location. We provided a prize for the adult category, naturally. So we're working really hard to be good citizens in the community and to, provide as much support as we can. As long as we're successful, we can, help share that with everyone that we interact with.
I wanted to mention that because I think you guys were a big success and a great addition, so thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
I have a couple other items. This past Sunday at the Westmont Health and Wellness Expo at St. James Crossing, I want to thank Brian from Harmony Hair for coordinating the event and Jimmy's Island Grill for hosting the brunch. There's about 500 people there. Jenny and Trustee Seneca and Clerk Simsky assisted me and led the walk since I wasn't walking. So it started with a walk at Taiwan, and we ended up over at the St. James Crossing, and it was the first year of doing this. I thought it was extremely successful. We're trying to draw attention to those shops in that area, and the goal is next year to build on that and have them all open and participate. So again, Brian coordinated that from Harmony Hair, and I thought it was quite successful. The Village of Westmont will have a community booth at the Taste of Westmont. They're asking elected officials, we need to sign up with other community members from Westmont First and more on July 11th, 12th, and 13th. So anybody who would like to stop by and talk to us, Larry McIntyre will be there too.
Contact me to sign up.
Yeah, contact Larry. And it's just kind of an informal way, stop by and share anything with us and get to know us a little better.
Dunk tank?
No dunk tank. This Saturday at the police station at 10 o'clock, Chief Mulhern will be sponsoring Coffee with the Mayor. And Chief, on that program, there will be somebody from DuPage.
Willowbrook Wildlife Foundation to talk about coyotes, the urban issue with coyotes, and we've also asked them to address issues with other urban animals such as skunks, raccoons, that type of deal. They're there to answer any questions and give us a short presentation on coyotes, but answer any questions any other wildlife that our residents may have.
So we're hoping to have a good turnout because I think this is a subject we keep hearing a lot about.
And I'm not making the donuts, but we will, as being a police department, we will have donuts.
Thanks.
I'm going to try and bring a coyote, so.
Oh, God.
No coyotes allowed.
And my one other item, and I'd ask Larry McIntyre if he'd please come up to the podium, because a week from tomorrow is the 4th of July. And I thought it'd be beneficial for Larry just to give an idea of what we've got scheduled.
Sure. Definitely want to mention that a lot of planning goes into this event, and it's mostly co-sponsored by the village and the Park District. A lot of staff get together to coordinate this event, and people who have attended in the past will let you know that the fireworks display that we have is unparalleled with any community around us. So if you're unfamiliar with our fireworks display here in Westmont, you definitely need to come up to Tidewater Park on July 4th. Activities begin at 4 p.m. and lots of different things, food vendors, lots of kids activities, and it's my understanding that there's going to be these big balloons that will be up in the sky to kind of let people know where the different activities are. So the red balloon is going to be for kids' activities. The blue balloon is going to be where the entertainment is, and the white balloon is going to be where the food vendors are. And so we invite everybody up to Tidewater Park. You definitely want to pay attention to any of the special traffic detours going on. It changes at different times throughout the day, and so the best thing to do is as you arrive, just pay attention to any special signage or the officers, anyone who's directing traffic, because it does kind of change up there compared to normal traffic patterns. Music begins at 7:30 with the Grand Avenue Big Band, and that ends around 9:15. And usually about 15 minutes later, dusk arrives at 9:30, and that's when the fireworks begin. So you definitely want to come up there. Also, it's very important to mention that this is sponsored by Westmont Auto Mile. They put forth the funds for the great majority of the entire event, and so if you need to buy a car, show up in Westmont on Ogden Avenue and support our Westmont Auto Mile.
And we have our own community band performing at 4:30.
Correct.
5:45. So we have two bands that evening, so come out and enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all I have. Clerk Simsky.
I really don't have a lot to add. I just want to honor our deputy clerk will end his service with us next week. I'll probably get teary-eyed talking about this. Kerry will be retiring next Thursday, and he will be sorely missed. He has been a wonderful deputy clerk. He's been an excellent friend to all the residents, so it's a very sad day for us when we lose Kerry, so.
And he is one of our residents.
Yes, he is,
Yeah.
and I thank him for his years of
Good.
service.
Thank you. Attorney Zemanek.
I have nothing other than to offer my regards and good wishes to Carrie, who was a pleasure to work with.
Thank you. Manager Searle.
Actually, I thought we talked Carrie out of retiring, didn't
We wish.
we? Okay, well, we tried. No, we're all going to miss Carrie. He's been a great asset to the village, and it's going to be difficult to replace him. One thing I wanted to mention related to the agenda tonight, before we get to that item, we have an item on there to renew the lease for Senator Dillard at the Westmont Center. As some of you may have noticed in the paper, he is going to be resigning his position to take over the chairmanship of the RTA. I spoke to his administrative assistant today to try to find out what that means in terms of us extending this agreement. In talking to her and in talking to the village attorney, it's our recommendation that we go ahead, approve the extension today. The reason for the extension is that he was switching the payment method from, he was paying for it directly through funds that were his own office funds to the state of Illinois, which is the way Patty's been paying ever since she's been there for the common area expenses. And, you know, this all happened before, I guess, he realized that he was going to be resigning. So it's our recommendation we go ahead and approve it as it is on the agenda tonight. There was one little confusing piece of information, John. I think you pointed out to me that on the agenda it says through January. It's supposed to be through the term. And I think in the sample I put in the packet, I wrote December. So it should be January. And that's what the final form that we approve will say, January. And then we'll find out if they end up appointing someone to replace him, they may take that space temporarily. And then we may have to amend it. That's what I was told this afternoon. So I just wanted to bring that up before we got to the item. That's all I have.
Thank you. I'm going to go over to trustee Seneca, who's representing that whole half of the.
Yeah, that's why we're over here today. Just quickly, I wanted to say thank you to our police department. What a great squad car night we had last week. Even with the rain, everything got in. The parade, everything was wonderful, well attended. Also wanted to wish good luck and best wishes to Kerry, and he will be missed. But we'll see him around town since he's a resident. And then on behalf of Trustee Nero, wanted to announce that on July 7th, there will be a special Village Board workshop meeting on stormwater utility presentation from AMEC. And this is really the last opportunity for final feedback from the public. So, you know, stormwater has been a hot topic here in town, and we're working very hard to resolve these issues, so we need the input from the residents as well, and this will be your last opportunity. So that's July 7th, 7 o'clock here at Village Hall. And then on behalf of Bruce, I have a couple of things. He would like us to know that Westmont First has been very, very busy. As you know, he chairs that committee. They are going to be coming up soon. Look for information coming in the fall on an Adopt a Fire Hydrant program for all of these people in the back of the room. So that'll be coming up on sometime in fall. There'll be lots of publicity on that. The other thing is Westmont First, kind of working in coordination with our wonderful code enforcement folks, we're going to be coming up with a program to work on the alleys, clean up the alleys, really encouraging people to kind of take pride in their alley. If your home backs up to an alley, clean it up, get it going, spruce it up, make it nice for the neighborhood, make it nice for yourself. And it's sort of going to be moving into some code enforcement, because at some point we will really be looking more at the code enforcement angle. So we want to get these all spruced up and looking really good before we have to start, sending the troops in to make them look even better than they do now. And that's all I have this evening.
Trustee Barry.
I'd also like to wish Carrie good luck. I think the village is losing a great member of the staff. I've only worked with him a year, but very impressive in everything he does. So best wishes to Carrie. Also, I had a chance to attend the electronics recycling last Friday, and it was going great. I think the new location shows a lot of visibility, and the guys seem to like it. It was going well. So as a reminder, it's the second Friday of each month through December. The next day will be Friday, July 11th. The new location, again, across from the Village Hall, right out front here on Quincy Street. Secondly, I have a community garden update. There was a meeting between the Village of Westmont and Clarendon Hills to talk about the community garden project. I think Bob Scott and the EIC will continue to research options on, the Environmental Committee will continue to research options, and we'll look into creating a community meeting regarding this project this fall. So look forward to that, all the gardeners. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Addington.
Again, congratulations to Kerry. Hope he enjoys a long and wonderful retirement. We will miss him. I have one item, just, Chief, a little bit of a negative. I've been kind of running my route when I'm out driving to go down Wilmette Street the other day, and I didn't call because it was later, but they're now double parking. Where they park next to, in that back end of the off-street parking for repeat? There were cars actually double parking there, so you have cars on this side of the street, then a car double parked on the other side of the street, and it's really shrinking, I was even concerned a little bit with the second car being there, whether or not there was enough room for a fire truck to go up and down. You might want to just watch it, but they were parked all the way down almost to Traube Street on the east side of the street, the day that one car was double parked, just so you know. It doesn't seem to be any better. It is what it is, but we need to keep watching it, and I'll keep trying to let you know. I just saw this the other day, that's why I'm bringing it up.
They should know.
And that's it, sir, thank you.
Just before I get to Trustee Scott, that parking concern, as well as another area in town, I think it's 61st Street, our next public safety meeting, it's going to be an agenda item, so we can look into maybe any modifications or restrictions that we may want to place on those streets. Chief?
Mayor, correct, and that's, will be at 3 o'clock here at the Village Hall on July 24th.
Okay, so anybody who's interested, please attend. Now, Trustee Scott.
Thank you. I'm just going to echo everyone's comments on Kerry. He'll be missed. There's no doubt about it. Hard to replace. Also, we'll be having a Economic Development Committee meeting next Wednesday on the 4th. Nope.
No,
On the
not
second.
4th.
Second, I'm sorry, on the 2nd.
Oh.
Where was I thinking the 2nd? Right.
You can come on board.
At 9 a.m. here in the Village Hall. And then happy anniversary to the Senecas.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, that's right, yeah, newlyweds.
Yeah, like 42 years.
That'll be
That's
it.
it.
Thanks.
What I'd like to do now, I think all of our firemen and
Yeah, they came
women
back.
are back. Chief Weiss, if you please come to the podium. We have some,
Wasn't my house, huh?
We didn't leave.
have some presentations we'd like to make.
Thank you, Mayor and the board. Why I have the podium opportunity, just wanted, a couple other announcements. Wanted to let everybody know that our June Kids Camp was very successful. Our July camp is completely full, and we have about 5 to 7 openings for our August camp. So if there's anybody out there want to get their kids in the August camp, just contact the fire department, and we'll make that happen. Last Thursday night at the police cruising nights, Police Chief Mulhern and myself honored Greg Pankey for the Dawn King Public Safety Volunteer of the Year Award. And the mayor was there with us and helped present that to him. Greg, as you know, is a great volunteer. He's involved in the police alumni, fire alumni. He's a deputy coordinator for our EMA, and well-deserved to him. So just want to pass that on. Tonight, it's an honor to be in front of you to do this great award ceremony. We don't get this often. But tonight we have to present to you a life-saving award to 2 of our medics and several EMS Service Year awards. So with that, I want to call our EMS Director, Lynn Drowley. There she is. And the mayor to come forward and take care of that.
Okay, I'm going to talk about the Life Saving Award. The Life Saving Award is going to be going to Catherine Meyer and Robert Dubell. Come up. February 23rd, Kathy and Robert actually went mutual aid to Tri-State Fire Department, and they had a 53-year-old female who had gone into full arrest. And what was unusual about this is that the woman actually went into full arrest right after finding out that her brother had just died. She had just gotten notification that her brother had just died. So when they got on the scene with Tri-State, they did go ahead and work, her, and they ended up getting a pulse back by the time they got to the hospital, but she was in pretty bad shape. She was in the hospital for quite a while, and in fact, they didn't think that she was going to survive. I kept on checking, but she never did pass. And then on March 20th, she actually was released to Marion Joy Rehab, and she is expected to have a full recovery. I was unable to get a hold of her to see if but I don't think that she would be able to come anyway. But they did a fantastic, fantastic job. So congratulations to Kathy. And then now I'm going to give some of the EMS service Years of Service awards. There's not too many people here, just a few. Oh, I put mine on top. I'm not going to walk up there, so. So I'm going to go for the service awards for this year. Patrick Jagger, who had 5 years of service. Patrick McGivney had 5 years of service. And this is as a paramedic, okay? Robert Ratcliffe, 5 years as a paramedic. Brian Light, 5 years as a EMTB. Thomas Bills, as 10 years as a paramedic. John Barnacle, 15 years as a EMTB. Kathleen Fergala, 15 years as a paramedic. Leif Johnson, 15 years as a paramedic. James Nichols, 15 years as a paramedic. Richard Zazada, 15 years as an EMTB. Lynn Raleigh, 20 years, I'm not that old, 20 years as a paramedic. Catherine Meyer, 20 years as a paramedic. And my favorite is David Weiss, 40 years. And then last year, unfortunately, this kind of got buried, but we did have some other ones that were not given out, so I'm going to give them out now. Eric Swanson was 10 years as a paramedic. Christopher Stoltman, 10 years as an EMTB. Carl Witt, 20 years as a paramedic. John Mall, 20 years as an EMTB. Dan Sullivan, 25 years as a paramedic. James Connolly, 30 years as a EMTB, and Robert Zeiger, 40 years as an EMTB. So congratulations to everyone.
Thank you. I'll go this way.
All right, thank you very much.
Again, thanks, Chief and Lynn, and again, congratulations to all those award winners, especially Chief, 40 years. That's quite an accomplishment.
No, not at all.
And then we're going to move on. One other item in front of us is the Taste of Westmont signs promoting our taste, which is July 10th through the 13th. If anybody would like to take a sign, please do after the meeting to put in their yards and not the parkway. We'd like to promote it. And we'll move on to the agenda, item 6. Items removed from the consent agenda.
Mayor?
Yes.
Before you get to that, do we pre-sell wrist bracelets?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. So it's just, you just go there and come Thursday, because that's a special night, right?
That's Carnival Only Kids Night.
Carnival Only Kids
And
Night. there's a-
wristbands, I believe.
And wristbands, and that's a special
There
It's
are
a great
specials,
value.
So great
It's a great
value when you
value.
can go during wristbands. So check the website or the promotional material.
And stop by the Lions booth. I will be covered with butter, so get your corn
yes, the
from me.
From eating?
All of a sudden, I don't want corn.
Might not even go to the taste of
It's an image, Jim.
What's that?
It's an image I'm trying
All right,
to.
yeah.
Oh, gee.
We'll get through the meeting.
I'm not sure.
Items removed from the consent agenda. Are there any board members requesting that items be removed from the consent agenda?
I don't
I have
think
none.
so.
Seeing none, I'd ask Manager Searle to please read the consent agenda.
I'm still trying to overcome the butter image.
Trying to get rid of their confusion.
Sorry. Concentrate. Consent agenda, the items on the consent agenda are the village board minutes for the board meeting of June 12th, 2014. We have the finance ordinance number 5 in the amount of $1,645,854.03. Then we have the following purchase orders. Purchase order 11033882 to the DuPage Senior Citizens Council in the amount of $24,000 in annual contribution. Then we have purchase order 11033854 to Northwestern University in the amount of $11,700 for police training. Then we have purchase order 11033871 to Marker School District in the amount of $7,559, and this is for a portion of the cleaning services for Westmont Center. And then finally, the last purchase order we have is PO 11033906 to AAA Rental System for $5,970. This was for a stage purchase that was a budgeted item. The total amount of purchase orders and the finance ordinance is $1,695,083.03. And then in addition to that, under the consent agenda, we have a community event for the Angel Haven Foundation that was presented to the board at the last meeting. There's a motion to consider approving the following requests, which include approval of the 4-day sale at 213 East 55th Street for June 26th through the 29th from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., and then the waiver of tent permit fees for the yard sale and waiver of costs associated with the village's loan a truck program. This event is located at the West Hills Community Church, and it will be taken down June 30th of this month. And as many people know, this has been an annual event for the last several years. And at least last couple of years, they've asked for waivers for these various permits, fees. Then we had the 4th of July celebration. Board to consider an ordinance approving the following: an amplified sound request permit, a special events traffic plan using various one-way streets and street closures around Ty Warner Park, Again, this item appears on the consent agenda because, as we've discussed earlier, some of these special events where we don't have any changes from the previous year, we will put them on the consent agenda, and if any of the board members wanted to pull them off to discuss any specific aspects of them, we could do that. But in this case, there's no changes, so that is what we have on the consent agenda this evening.
Do I have a motion to,
Oh, could I just ask a quick question, or do you want the motion first?
let's have a motion to approve.
Okay, so move Seneca.
Second, Addington.
Motion made and second on the question.
Just a question about the stage. Is that the risers that we budgeted?
It's a stage. It's to replace the stage, I believe, that we got back during the...
Oh, the one Andy,
5th?
the one Andy Monas built?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not the risers?
No.
No,
And
oh, it's an actual stage.
Glenn's
Okay.
gonna, it's the
No, sir.
portable stage.
They will replace those wooden risers,
Oh, good, okay.
and it's also a much larger stage.
Yes.
So it's
Perfect.
sectional, so you can build smaller or larger.
Perfect, thank you.
And again, we talked about it during budget time, and it was a budget
Yeah.
item in this place.
Awesome. That's all.
Any other question? Anybody from the audience? Question on the consent agenda? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Seneca.
Yes?
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Trustee Scott.
Yes?
Trustee Addington.
Yes.
Moving on to unfinished business. A, DCEO grant agreement, pedestrian lighting. Board to consider an ordinance approving a grant agreement between the Village of Westmont and the State of Illinois, DCEO, for pedestrian lighting grant number 12-203467. Manager Searle.
The village received grants between 2008, 2001, I read that backwards, 2001, 2008, for pedestrian lighting project through the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity. We completed the project and received some funding. Additional funding for the state programs were cut, so the remaining grants were not awarded. Our local representatives have been able to get the state to approve that additional funding. The current agreement is for a new grant to receive the funds that we expended a number of years ago. This has been a long time coming to get this funding. At one time, the state owed us, I think, somewhere in the range of like $260,000. And I think maybe, Jim, some of it went back to when you were on the board. We got a new governor, and he came in, he cut all that, he froze it is what he did.
Yeah.
So that is what this is about, and we would ask the board for approval of the agreement.
Motion approved, Scott?
Second, Addington.
Motion made and second to approve as presented. On the question.
Do we know how much will we be getting that 200,000 back then, or?
We've gotten pieces of it
Spencer,
already.
yeah.
I don't know if this is the balance or not. Do you know, Spencer?
Yes, so we had received other pieces, and we had kind of been at the point where the state owed us a little bit under $100,000, and this grant ended up being for about $200,000. So we will, assuming that we get the full amount and everything goes through, then we should actually be getting more than we initially thought we'd be getting when we first did the project. So we are getting everything that we were owed and potentially a little bit more.
Is that because of some addition? I know that when the representatives contacted us, they looked at what we owed, but also other grant opportunities, so there might have been some additional work that was part of that. Or do you know?
I don't know for sure how they arrived at that number, but I know we also received through them also a grant for a security system here with updating our cameras and door access controls that we've talked about previously. But I think recently we approved some purchases with that, and so we did receive both of those grants for those other opportunities as well.
The way the process works, at least the last several years, is the state legislators are given a certain amount of money to spend in their district. And as I said, this started several years ago, particularly with Representative Belloc. And we told her, you know, we had signed these grant agreements with DECIO. We never got the funding refunded to us. or the money that we spent refunded to us. And so we've been applying for that in piecemeals, and we've also been adding things like, as you just mentioned, the camera project, and I think there was one or two others. So it does sound like we've gotten the balance of what's been owed to us.
Just saying, this is the stuff that.
So any day we get money from the state is a good day.
Pretty much, we consider that a good day. Particularly good enough, right?
Any additional questions? Anybody from the audience? Clerk Simsky, can I have a roll, please?
Trustee Scott.
Yes.
Trustee Addington.
Yes.
Trustee Seneca.
Yes.
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Moving on to new business, A, 6301 South Cass Avenue, U.S. Bank. Board to consider ordinances approving the following requests from U.S. Bank to operate a bank in a C1 commercial business district. 1, special use permit to have accessory drive-in facility and a special use permit to allow on-premises ATM. And 2, a zoning code variance to increase the number of allowable signs. Manager Searle.
As the mayor said, the signs do not exceed the previous bank's approval. The commission, the Planning and Zoning Commission, recommended unanimous approval. The property is not located in the TIF, and the comprehensive plan recommends the area for commercial infill and improvement. The building is not proposed for redevelopment, and the previous tenant was a bank as well, and we have the petition here this evening if you have any questions.
Would you like to add to that?
Oh, no, thanks for having me. I'm Mike Fossauer from U.S. Bank, and as you know, we purchased the Charter One franchise, so we plan to use it as exactly it was used before, and, hope to partner with Westmont any way we can.
Just to give a quick plug, I had accounts at Charter One, and the transition has been extremely smooth. Your ATM a lot better.
Okay. Staff, Jill, do you have anything you'd like to?
This is a logical reuse of an existing bank. The property is zoned C1 and is part of our South Westmont Business District. It is not part of the TIF, it's just south of there. And the sign variance is very much in keeping with the previous tenant, except the applicant brought their signs down to avoid another variance, and we actually have a tasteful monument sign at the corner, which will be in keeping with the redevelopment of 63rd Street.
I'm looking for 2 motions. The first one would be the special use permit.
So move Seneca.
Second Addington.
Motion made and seconded to approve the special use permit for the accessory drive-in facility and a special use permit to allow on-premises ATM. Any on the question? Anybody from the public? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Seneca.
Yes.
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Trustee Scott.
Yes.
Trustee Addington.
Yes.
And then the second motion, looking for the zoning code variance to increase the number of allowable signs.
Motion approved, Barry.
Second Addington.
Motion made and seconded. Any questions on this? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Trustee Seneca.
Yes.
Trustee Addington.
Yes.
Trustee Scott.
Yes.
Look forward to doing business with you. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
New business B, 150 West Ogden Avenue, the Gaben Auto Group. Board to consider ordinances approving the following request from Gaben Auto Group to operate used automobile sales in a B2 general business district. 1, a special use permit to allow the sale of used automobiles. And 2, a variance to permit the sale of used automobiles within 500 feet of a residence district. Manager Searle.
At the June 11 public hearing, it was discussed how the business would operate. No auto displays within the front setback are permitted. Employee parking must be on the lot and not on side streets, and no test driving is permitted in the residential neighborhoods. The applicant clarified that the business would include conditioning and not repair or body work or painting. Revised site plan denoted parking is attached or is in the packet material that the board received. The Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval with noted conditions, and the comprehensive plan recommends Ogden corridor include secondary retail office and service use and incorporate redevelopment and consolidate smaller lots when possible. And we have the petitioner here.
Petitioner's here, and would you state your name and?
Joseph Gaben. I'm the president of Gaben Auto Group, and
I know if there's nothing to add, I'll ask Jill then to maybe come to the podium to give her comments if you know.
This is the site plan showing the former Chevy dealership. As you can see, the site was designed to be an auto dealership. It reaches out all the way to almost the rear property line. And it has a large showroom and indoor storage area, but not a lot of parking. Outdoor parking is limited, and it will be restricted to the side that you can see here, and then customer parking will be here, and then display vehicles would be limited to that front row. This was brought up at the Planning and Zoning Commission, and as we heard earlier today, we've had some parking issues along Ogden Avenue, and we'd like to avoid that in the future. So we don't want to have neighborhoods that have restricted access. So display vehicles through the ordinance would be located to this first row of parking shown on the site plan.
Sorry, I didn't ask, what kind of automobiles are you going to be selling?
the business we're proposing at this site is extremely similar to what we are currently operating in Warrenville. This is a picture of our indoor showroom in Warrenville. It's the dealership is housed in a higher-end office environment. Simple display, just concrete floors, and all of our cars and motorcycles are housed inside. The average car that we'll be carrying at this location is about $40,000. The average motorcycle that we'll carry is about $15,000. The business is, we're anticipating about $30 million a year in sales, which would total about plus or minus 70 units, motorcycles, and cars per month.
That's great.
Mostly internet business, very few walk-ins. On average, we will be dealing with about 4 customers in the entire showroom per day.
And this will be your home office for that internet sales?
We're maintaining the Warrenville location and this location, obviously, if approved. We are purchasing the building. We're not renting. So we're in it for the long haul. We're making a significant investment to start up this business. We also have 2 other operations on the south side. We own Oaklawn Mazda on 95th and JD by Ryder in Bridgeview on Harlem Avenue.
So where will the
Sales.
actual sale take place?
The sale? Westmont.
So it would, even though
Will
it's
it be reported
internet
out of
sales?
Westmont?
Yeah, you cannot, as far as I know legally, I cannot be selling something from Westmont and process it for Oaklawn.
Well, I just meant if it was going to be an internet sale, it's,
Right.
you know,
Internet is anything these days. 90% of our business comes through the internet. Everything gets initiated through there.
so that's your marketing tool, not, it's not like you put a credit card in,
No.
like you do on eBay or
Absolutely,
something. It's the
absolutely.
sale is definitely here.
Yeah, we're not in the paper anymore. We're not on billboards. Everything starts with autotrader.com, eBay, and cars.com.
Looks like it's going to be nice.
Good. Well, I'm looking for, again, 2 motions, and the first one would be special use permit to allow the sale of used automobiles.
Well, maybe we should do the motion and then raise a question to the attorney. Okay. Then I'll make a motion to approve item 1, which is a special use permit.
Second, Scott.
Motion made and second on the question.
Yeah, again, this goes to the attorney. And this goes back again, I think, a follow-up on Sue's question. Is there something that we can put into this that guarantees that the sales will be reported in Westmont? Because of the internet nature and everything else, what goes back in my head is what Itasca had years ago, because they had the home office for Avon, and all of those sales got reported in Itasca, and they got all the sales tax revenue. And so my question to you is there a way of controlling what's sold in Westmont is reported in Westmont so that we get the tax revenue?
We can certainly add that to the ordinance. I think the problem becomes enforcement. Let's say he's got an inventory here in Westmont. Someone wants to come to Warrenville because that's more convenient to them, where he's got another location
And he
to
can-
physically
Yeah.
pick up the car, and so he would drive the car over to Warrenville.
And then it becomes a Warrenville sale.
Then does it become a Warrenville sale? I don't know the answer.
May I add something to address your concern? We do not have any tax sharing agreement or any kind of incentive with Warrenville, so it's immaterial to us where we sell the vehicle. So there's no advantage to selling it any other location. We have no tax incentive or rebates or anything with the other municipalities.
So to answer your question, yes, I think we put in language that all sales of vehicles inventoried in Westmont, sold in Westmont, sales taxes shall be registered or payable here.
Should we modify the motion to include that?
You can if you like. The minutes will reflect that, and I'll get the amended motion over to Ginny for the mayor to sign.
Then I'll make that motion to make the amendment.
You certainly can, though, if you
You
want.
can. He said you didn't, but you want to make the
Yeah, let's put
motion
it,
to
yeah.
amend your motion to include that condition?
Yeah, please.
Second, Scott.
Motion, the amendment's been made and seconded. On the question.
It'll be nice to see that building occupied.
Yeah.
And thank you for choosing Westmont.
Yeah, glad to have you in Westmont.
Motion, and then he amended it. So let's vote on the amendment
Okay.
first.
Any questions from the audience? Seeing none, we will vote on the amendment first. Clerk Simsky.
Trustee Addington.
Yes.
Trustee Scott.
Yes.
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Trustee Seneca.
Yes.
Now, we've got another motion on the floor, and that's, the motion was to,
Well, actually, the original motion now needs to be voted on.
Right.
Right.
So the board voted on the amendment, so now
that's
it's,
what I was going to do.
oh, I'm sorry.
The original motion that's on the floor, special use permit to allow the sale of.
I thought he jumped ahead too, John, so.
Oh, no, I'm, the motion that's already
We
on
like
the
to
floor.
complicate it as much as we can.
On the question, anybody? Seeing none, then roll call.
Trustee Addington.
Yes.
Trustee Scott.
Yes.
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Trustee Seneca.
Yes.
Okay, now I need another motion to approve number 2, variance to permit the sale of used automobiles within 500 feet of a residence district.
So move, Seneca.
Second Addington.
Motion made and second. Any questions?
Have you talked to our chamber director yet?
Yes.
We have a wonderful Chamber of Commerce, so I hope you'll
He actually came out
consider.
and visited our site.
Great, great.
Just one more time, what was the annual sales going to be?
We're
Estimate?
projecting $30 million.
Good.
Okay. Thank you.
No other questions? Roll call, please.
Trustee Seneca.
Yes.
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Trustee Scott.
Yes.
Trustee Addington.
Yes.
We're looking forward to your business.
Welcome to
Thank
town.
you. Welcome to Westmont.
One more thing before you go. Any planned opening date?
Uh,
Good question.
As early as beginning of August.
Oh,
Oh,
great.
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 You let us know, and I'm sure we'll have a ribbon cutting if you'd like with Chamber.
We'll start down, yeah.
Thank you very
Good.
much.
Thank
Glad
you.
to have you.
Thank you. New business C, zoning code text amendment. Board to consider an ordinance approving a text amendment to update the zoning code regulations to allow micro breweries and brew pubs in the B2 General Business District. Manager, sir.
The text amendment was prompted by recent interest from an existing business owner in constructing a microbrewery as an ancillary use within an existing business in the B2 General Business District. A text amendment adding microbreweries and brew pubs as special uses in the B2 district would require a public hearing, allow the public to comment, and provide the village board the ability to add special conditions. The Planning and Zoning Commission discussed and gave a positive recommendation to the text amendment at a May 14th meeting after clarifying microbrewery and brew pub operations would be no more than 50% of food, retail, and restaurant sales. And we have our staff person, Jill Zeigler, here to
Like to give us additional information?
offer additional
Thank you. We are recommending a text amendment to the B2 General Business District. This would allow breweries or brew pubs or microbreweries as ancillary uses to food, retail, or restaurant sales. Staff recommended a specific maximum percent of brewing, such as 25%, and the Planning and Zoning Commission recommended no more than 50%. This type of operation would be different from Urban Legends, who spoke earlier about their success in the community. Urban Legends is primarily brewing with a smaller tap room, and this amendment would allow for majority retail or food sales with an ancillary brewing. Brewing is considered a manufacturing use, which is why Urban Legends is located in the M district, and this would be a smaller operation as part of retail in the B2 district. The special use that we're recommending would require a public hearing for all new brew pubs in the B2, and this would allow neighbors to voice any potential concerns about noise and odor.
Do you have a motion?
Motion to approve, Scott.
Second, Addington.
Motion made and seconded to approve. On the question.
Just a comment, I know, Joe, your recommendation originally was, I think, with the special condition on the special uses that a microbrewery operation is no more than 25% of food, retail, or restaurant sales, and Planning and Zoning Commission recommended 50%. So I think that would need resolved by the board.
So if I wanted a motion to approve at 25%, I should tell you that, is that how we would do that?
I think you guys just need to, just clarify which number you're going with, and we'll
Is
put
there
it
a
in the
number in
ordinance.
this one now?
When Udo
5%.
was open, and I'm going brain dead on the name of that business on Ogden Avenue, was that at 25%?
Wine color?
Wine color.
Which one was it?
Wine
color. The wine
That's
color?
maybe long
Yeah,
before you.
weren't even
no, I
born
actually
yet.
looked it up. It was in the 1980s. It was in the M district, and it was, I think, 75% restaurant. Because I saw the brewing portion on the site plan, and it was a pretty small percentage.
Yeah,
The,
because that's the only one that would be similar to this is when Wine Color was open, and that was off of Ogden Avenue back towards the M district, so.
This seems like the popularity of the craft beers now, it seems that, we're having a beer fest. We saw that at the Red, White, and Blue, that I don't necessarily know that a lot of them have strong eateries with them. I know that obviously Bakersfield is, but in the future, I question whether beer sales could be 50-50 on a brewery all the time.
Right.
well, right now it's 25%, and the motion did not include a percentage, so we don't need a second motion. We need a consensus if we want to leave it at 25 or make it 50.
I'm okay with 25.
25? Is everybody okay?
If that's where we were before with Udo, then
Chief, do you have?
25% food versus 50% food sales on the microbreweries?
It would be 25% brewing.
Brewery.
yeah, it's actually 25% alcohol to 75% food.
Food.
Right. And that's to limit the amount of shipping off-site that you get, because some breweries would want to sell it elsewhere too, in addition to on-site.
Sorry, I was mistaken on that. So to my point, I think that's hard, that would be hard pressed for a brewery to sell 75% food and 25% beer. I thought it was the other way around, where they could sell 75% beer, so.
Yeah, that kind of, when you,
Well, the purpose is to make it ancillary to the retail restaurant operation. So typical breweries should probably be in the M district, the way Urban Legends is, because they have such a small tap room. But this is to be ancillary to retail. But
And what did the planning and zoning?
they recommended 50-50, or no more than 50% alcohol sales.
And what happens if they don't hit those numbers? Say a potential new business comes in and they just can't hit those numbers and they're successful, what happens?
They could request a variance, correct?
You mean they exceed the 50% alcohol
So
sales?
that they can't hit that food mark, that they're doing 70% of beer and they just don't hit that mark. What happens then?
Well, they can have their special use revoked, just like, or their liquor license revoked, because it's the same with a retail license for consumption on the premises. I think we require it for a class, I forget, 4 restaurant license that at least 50% of the sales have to be for food or other retail.
So if you leave the
Leave it the way their
With the
recommendation
recommendation
is
that the planning
50%.
commission, it would be the same as our Class 4 restaurant license, which is still a 50/50. Half your sales have to be food or more.
That's what I'd recommend.
Yeah.
50/50.
It's
Can you
less
tell us who it
restrictive.
is?
What's it?
Who's interested?
Standard Market is interested. And they'll be coming forward in the next month or two.
Yeah. Again, I misunderstood it too. Now it's looking 50/50. Is there a feeling to make it 50/50?
Well, the consistency.
I'm thinking of their layout. I'm
Consistent with-
thinking of by virtue of where this is going to be sold in the building. It's going to be in the cube area, correct? And the restaurant is at the front of the store, at the grill, and then I guess they have that thing out on the patio now, that barbecue thing. So how does that all play into this?
I think
Because in the cube, they do cheese plates, and that's about it.
They're expecting their sales to be small percentages.
Okay.
So this wouldn't be an issue for that. This is more to open up the door in case other people want to do it too. But
Okay.
This
But
wouldn't be
I
restricted.
think the
Okay.
consistency in our ordinances is if the restaurant license is a 50/50, we keep this
It'd be
at
the same.
50/50. Then it's,
So then would that be buying groceries too? Is that considered in
Yeah.
that 50/50 with them?
yeah, so that's why it's going to be
That's fine.
small.
Yeah.
And again, it's going at Standard Market, not Bakersfield,
Correct, Standard Market, yeah.
Standard
potential.
That's
Is
good.
everybody go with 50/50?
Yeah, I can live with that.
So that will be reflected in the, assuming we pass it, it'll be reflected in the ordinance. Any additional questions?
Nope.
And we beat it to death.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Scott?
Yes.
Trustee Addington?
Yes.
Trustee Seneca?
Yes.
Trustee Barry?
Yes.
It barely came out. Yes.
Thank you. Moving on. D, Westmont Center, Board to consider an ordinance approving a lease for the current term for State Senator Kirk Dillard. Manager Searle.
As I said earlier, this is being done at the request of the senator. Initially, he was going to be changing the way in which he was paying for his common area maintenance. And as we found out this week, it looks like he'll be stepping down. So it's still our recommendation to go ahead and approve this. And depending on who may be appointed to fill his slot, they may in fact occupy that space. And we may have to come back to you with a further amendment as well. And I know Village Attorney John Zemanek just informed me, however, we don't have enough people here tonight to vote to actually approve this. So I guess we could, poll the board, let them know that there's an interest, but we can't technically approve this without having 3/4, is that what it?
3/4 vote of the corporate authorities then holding office. So the corporate authorities includes the mayor, so that's 7 people. Whether you're here or not, it's 7 people. You need 3/4 vote, which is 6.
And Steve's not going to make it.
No.
He texted me.
So
Okay. So if there's urgency on this senator side, as Ron mentioned, you can authorize him to sign this and convey it to the senator saying this is going to be up for a vote retroactively, but you run the risk that this may not get approved. But given the history, it's likely.
Yeah, I would expect that we would approve it.
Yeah.
I don't know why we wouldn't not want to. But, it won't be effective until
Okay.
we have, the next meeting and have a quorum, or have 3/4.
I think the consent, I don't see anybody shaking their head no, so I authorize you. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Good.
So we need a motion to,
Motion to authorize Ron enter into agreement.
Or do we postpone?
I would just do a motion to postpone.
Postpone it? All right. Motion. Do I have a
Motion to postpone, Barry?
Second, Addington.
Motion made, second postpone. Questions? Roll call, please.
Jim, did you make the motion, or did Harold make the?
I made the motion.
And then Jim seconded?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Trustee Barry?
Yes.
Trustee Addington?
Yes.
Trustee Seneca?
Yes.
Trustee Scott?
Yes.
New business E, license agreement, Wide Open West. Board to consider an ordinance approving a license agreement for the use of village right-of-way between the Village of Westmont and Wide Open West. Manager Searle.
Wide Open West is the contractor for Verizon Wireless. They're seeking a license agreement to install and maintain an aerial fiber optic and coaxial cable line along 63rd Street, which will connect two cellular antennas owned by Verizon. The cable will be above ground and will be installed on existing Commonwealth Edison poles. Wide Open West will pay an annual modest license fee to the village and comply with other applicable village ordinances. Wide Open West is not providing cable services to the village residents. The village attorney and the IT manager have reviewed this and recommend approval.
Do I have a
There's a
motion?
I'm sorry, just point out, there's a representative from Wide Open West, Casey Poliski, pronounce that right, here to answer questions.
Thank you for inviting me. Beautiful town, first time I've been here, it's gorgeous.
Anything you want to add to the?
The only thing I'll say is I'll just clarify that it's actually not a coax cable. It is only a fiber optic cable. It is not coaxial in nature, so it actually cannot provide cable TV even if it wanted to. Someday, I'm going for you. But it's not, we have no anticipation of doing that at this time.
How many communities do you provide cable in right now here in the suburbs?
Well, Wide Open West is, I believe, in 15 states across the country, so a lot. Right now, Wide Open West is primarily Naperville type of area. I want to say that's probably the furthest east that they operate. I actually work only on cell towers myself. I don't work on the cable TV side of things, so I can only kind of like speak towards the cellular tower side of this. But with your project, Willowbrook is also the other half of this. So Roy approved my permit yesterday for the same exact agreement I have with you. Downers Grove is affected as well. I'm with their attorney working through their pass-through. So I've got about 1,100 cell towers right now in Illinois.
I do know you have a franchise in Arlington Heights.
We have a statewide franchise, actually, so.
You actually provide cable there.
Yep, it just kind of, we're building a lot of cell towers, and so you'll hear about us a lot, but a lot of people think that that means cable TV, and it doesn't. So it just sort of depends on the market. So right now, it's primarily kind of like northern Illinois, Naperville area, not too much towards the south and east.
Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve, Barry?
Second, Addington.
Motion's been made and seconded.
Before we take the vote, could I get your name again, please?
Casey, K-A-C-E-Y.
On the question. Anybody in the audience? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Trustee Seneca.
Yes.
Trustee Addington.
Yes.
Trustee Scott.
Yes.
Thank you.
New business F, IDOT resolution of intent for MFT GO bond. Board to consider an IDOT resolution for the village's 2014 MFT fall resurfacing project, which is MFT number 14-00000-02-GM. Manager Searle.
This is a request to appropriate a sum of $2,200,000 for the 2014 motor fuel tax fall resurfacing project from the municipality's allotment of motor fuel tax funds. Approval of the IDOT resolution is presented, and I'm sure if the board member has any questions, System Manager May would be happy to answer those questions.
Is this similar to the one we approved for the first project?
Yes.
Yes.
This is essentially just encumbering that amount of money towards that portion of the project.
So this is the amount of money is going to be budgeted for this fall. You know, the projects, the roads have been determined?
They have been turned, we have a proposed list, of course, that is at IDOT now, and the contracts and all that's being approved. So I don't want to say, you know, it's too late to change anything, but we're, you know, once it's approved, we'll announce the list, and probably when we go out to bid.
Okay.
This will be like September
As you know, it's a
work.
popular topic to find out if
It
your
is.
street's being resurfaced or not. Any additional questions? Seeing none, roll call, please. I get a motion? I got a motion. Roll call. You're doing
I
too many
don't
things
have
at
a-
one time.
You don't have a
No,
motion.
I didn't get a
Motion to
motion. I
approve,
thought we
Barry.
did. Well, I thought we
Second,
did.
Scott.
Motion been made and seconded to approve as presented. Now I'll take the question.
Thought I really wasn't paying
None.
attention.
Yeah. Roll call, please.
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Trustee Seneca.
Yes.
Trustee Addington.
Yes.
Trustee Scott.
Yes.
Very good. Agenda item 10, miscellaneous. Is there any board members or anybody who has anything that you'd like to discuss? Do we know where the fire was tonight? Anybody?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do know where the fire was.
Was it no damage, I hope?
I don't know.
Okay.
See,
Probably, good fire alarm, probably.
good thing.
Yes. Is there any, seeing none, our next meeting, we do not have any items for executive session tonight. Our next meeting is 2 weeks from tonight, again at 5:30. Reminder for the summer months, through August, we'll be meeting at 5:30. So we all can maybe go out and enjoy our cruising night. So again, seeing no other further business, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move, Scott.
Second Seneca.
Motion made and second to adjourn. Roll call, please.
Trustee Scott.
Yes.
Trustee Addington.
Yes.
Trustee Seneca.
Yes.
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Again, thank you, everybody. This meeting is adjourned.
Yay.